So we are into the second week of December and things are just getting busier and crazier and crazier. Here at Camp David, Christmas is not the only thing that we are getting ready to celebrate in the month of December. We also have a very special birthday this month, and that is Kenya's birthday. Kenya was born on December 24th. Not only has it changed our lives forever, it has changed our month of December for sure. Ever since she was born, I have been bound and determined that just because her birthday is on December 24th, that we do not tie it in with Christmas. She deserves to have her own birthday and for it to be separate from the holiday. So I have worked very hard to keep Christmas separate from Kenya's birthday. So the thing that we're getting ready for today, and we've been planning, is Kenya's birthday party. And every year I have planned parties for both of the kids, probably about a month out. I go ahead and start talking to the kids what they want to do for their day, and then also with their thoughts on their parties. Once again, I love hosting, I love event planning, and this has just been another way for me to be able to find an outlet for my love of event planning. We have been talking to Kenya, and she has decided that she really wants to go ice skating this year. Not only is Kenya excited to go ice skating, but she also loves anything that is from the 1950s to 1940s. One of her favorite things to do is to listen to the radio show, not even watch the TV show, but listen to the radio show Father Knows Best. And she will be found in her room so many times just sitting, sketching, drawing, and listening to the radio show. So we are getting ready to celebrate Kenya. Her actual birthday is December 24th, and usually what we do is we plan a party, not on their birthday, and then on their actual birthday, we spend it together, just the four of us, celebrating and doing the things that they love most. So this year for Kenya's party, she has decided she wants to go ice skating. After we're done ice skating, she wants everybody to gather at this 50s diner that we have here in Parker. And they actually, this summer, they just opened up a soda shop, and it is the real deal. We love it. We've been in there. Unfortunately, they closed the soda shop side for the winter, but I took a chance and I called the owner of Rory's Diner here in Parker and asked them if they would host a party or an event over at the soda shop. And he was so excited and he was very happy to do so. Once we decide on what the kids want to do for their party or party theme, I go ahead and get the invites ready. And Kenya this year has asked that for her invitations to her party that I make cake pops. And this is something from my past. You guys have not heard a lot about it, but actually I used to, and I still do. I just haven't done it as much. I used to have my own at-home baking business, and I decorate cakes professionally, and I do cake pops. The cake pop adventure came about when the kids were pretty young. I would say Kenya was 3. My husband purchased Bakerella's cake pop book. Bakerella is actually the creator of cake pops. She starred on the Martha Stewart show and showed how to make these wonderful creations. And after my husband got the book, I just fell in love with it. I was already decorating cakes before I got hooked on cake pops. It was an added adventure onto my cake decorating. So my husband got the book for me and I read through it and I just loved it, and I was so intrigued that I started trying to make the cake pops. And before I knew it, we were hooked. So I started doing cake pop orders and it just grew and grew. husband surprised me with a lunch with Bakerella on my birthday one year, and that just topped everything all off. So in this episode, you're gonna see Kenya and I making cake pops together for her invitations to her birthday party. And I'll also show you some of my other creations that I've done. I still have my Facebook page called Tasting Heaven Bakery. You can go on if you're part of Facebook and still look over the things that I do. And like I said, I take orders from time to time, but since I've started homeschooling the kids, my time is very limited and I don't bake as much as what I would like to, but now that the kids are older, it's been a lot of fun bringing them in the kitchen and teaching these skills as well. We're gonna go ahead and make some cake pops and have some fun. Okay, so Kenya has decided that this year for her birthday invitation, she wants to have a cake pop with it because she's doing a little bit of a winter theme and a little bit of a 1950s theme.
This year for my birthday party, I have decided to just go ice skating first, and then after that, we're going to go to Rory's Soda Shop, my favorite place to get ice cream and stuff.
So I'm excited to make some cake pops with her. I've been actually featured on Bakerella's blog. She's featured some of my cake pops in the pop star section that she used to have on her blog. Since Kenya's doing like ice skating to begin with, she thought it would be fun to make snowman cake pops, and I've made these before. And actually, we have a mold. Now, typical cake pops, you hand roll them is what I usually do. One year I found this mold, and it's actually Christmas lights. What I did with this one year is we flipped them upside down after we made the cake pop with them, and I turned them into snowmen. And that is what Kenya has decided that she wants to do for her invitations this year. Here's the basics of making a cake pop. The first thing that you need is a 9x13 cake in any flavor that you would like it. Kenya, what flavor did you choose?
Chocolate, my all-time favorite flavor in the whole entire big world.
Okay, so Kenya's chosen chocolate. We have a 9x13 chocolate cake. The next step that you're going to do is we are going to take this cake and we are going to crumble it all up into a bowl. So Kenya's going to cut our cake into 4 sections.
Oh, this is surprisingly easy.
The first thing Kenya's gonna do is take the cake and crumble it all up in the bowl. And I have crumbled up the 9x13 cake. You want it to not have any large chunks in it. It should really be just crumbs. So the next thing that you're going to take is frosting. I do most of my things from scratch, and my buttercream frosting when I decorate cakes is made from scratch. But when I'm doing cake pops, sometimes if I'm in a time crunch, like we've got several other things going on, I go ahead and get a cake mix. And for the next step, you need to have frosting, and you can mix your flavors. You can have fun with this. This is what's so fun about cake pops. You can do a chocolate cake with a strawberry frosting, and it's going to taste like chocolate covered strawberries. You can do lemon cake. You can do so many different flavor combinations, and it's so much fun. So the next step is we're going to take canned frosting, and we are not going to add this whole can. We're going to add a little bit at a time and mix, and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. And now we just start mixing and pulling the frosting through the crumbled up cake. And I use the back of the spoon because it pulls the frosting through better. Okay, now that we've got our frosting mixed into our cake, this is what it should look like. And you want the mixture, once again, you don't want it too wet, but we don't want it too dry, but you want it to be able to hold into a form. So typically what you would do at this point after you have everything mixed in is to go ahead and roll your cake pops into balls. But today, since we're using a mold, we're going to put it in the mold. So I'll show you what we would do. You want to take about this much, and usually all you do is roll it into a ball like that, and then we would let these chill in the fridge and dip them. But today what we're gonna do is I'm going to take some cake, I'm gonna call it cake pop batter. We're going to move it over here to my mold, and I'm gonna push it into my mold and then level it off. And you want them a little bit full because we have to be able to get a candy stick up through the center of these. So we're gonna fill the tray and then let them chill in a refrigerator for at least 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, once the cake pops are done chilling in the fridge, the next step is that you need to go ahead and get the candy melts out. And since Kenya has chosen snowmen, we of course need white. And you guys can find these. These are the candy melts. And they can be found in the baking or the candy section at Hobby Lobby, at Michael's or Joann Fabrics. And they're called candy melts. And they come in all sorts of different colors. And you can do a lot of exciting things with these. So, of course, our snowmen are going to be white. So you want to put them in a jar about like this, a glass microwavable container. So we have our white here, and then she's decided that the scarves and hats are going to be purple. So we've got our purple candy melts here, and then we're going to accent it with a little bit of pink. So we've got pink right here to go in with it. The other thing that I use when making cake pops is a styrofoam disc. And what we use these for is to actually stick the cake pops in once we've dipped them. So the first thing though is you need to melt your candy melts, and we're going to do that really quick. And how I do this is for the first amount we put it in the microwave for 1 minute, and then I stir it. I do 30-second increments after that and keep stirring the candy melt until we've got it to the consistency. When you're melting your candy melts, you want to make sure, you want to make sure to not overheat your candy melts, because that makes it harder and they can crack on the cake pops then. I do power level. I don't do full power, so we're gonna do about 60%. We'll start there. So now our candy melts are melted pretty well. It's a pretty good consistency. We still have a few candy melts in there, but as you stir it, they'll melt more. Right now we're just gonna do the white because we're just gonna dip the snowmen first. At this point in the process, you want to make sure that you have your cake pops ready to go. So we're going to pull these out, and I'll show you guys what they look like after they've chilled and we've pulled them out of the mold. Here they are, and they're nice and chilled, so they hold their form, and we're ready to start dipping. So the last thing that you need when you're making candy melts is, Kenya's got it right here. They are lollipop sticks, and you can get them just plain white ones. Kenya picked out some colored ones, so it's gonna be fun with our little snowmen. You take one of your lollipop sticks right here, and we're going to take a cake pop right here, and the first thing you need to do is dip your stick into the candy melt. And the reason being is now we're going to go ahead and put it in the cake pop, and the reason why we dip it in the candy melt first is it actually helps the cake pop to stay on the stick. And now our cake pop is ready to dip, and so you want to do this all in one smooth motion. You do this, and then you just pull it out and you gently let the excess come off. And I want to make sure and get most of that off. This is the time-consuming part. So once you've got it, we're going to bring our cake pop over here and put it in our styrofoam disc so it can dry. Our snowmen dipped in white. The next step is to get their hats on and then their scarves. So we're going to do their hats first, and Kenya has chosen the basic color to be purple. So we're going to melt our purple candy melt and just dip the tip of the hat in And then we'll do the scarves last because we'll have to do those by hand. The other thing that the kids have coming up is their church Christmas program at our church that we go to. We go to the Pearl Church in Denver. And in one of the scenes, it's a Hawaiian Christmas scene, and they need us to make a pig to be roasting over a fire. So we are working on making a paper mache pig. So this is the pig, and it's a mess. Kenya came over to help with the pig. I'm still doing cake pops. We'll see how both these projects go today. So for the snowmen's hats, now that they're dried, this is the front, we are going to go ahead and dip them, just barely dip halfway down in the purple, and then I'll show you how we do the scarves. So go about halfway down, right there. So once we have that off, I have a toothpick here, and I'm just adding detail stripes into the purple before it dries. So I'll add some details to our hat, and then we're going to do the scarf. Scarves we have to do by hand. So I just have a little toothpick here, and I'm just going to put some candy melt over where the scarf goes. Okay, and I'll add the same detail to the scarves that we did with the pink. And then once the scarves and hat are done, this is what they look like. And we're ready to add the faces. And I have these edible markers, cake decorators. Use them a lot. And you get these at Hobby Lobby. You can order them online at Amazon. And they're edible markers, so they are safe to eat. And I add the details of the nose and the face on. So now it's time to put their little faces on, and then we'll be done. And there we go, guys. These are our finished little snowmen. So now I'm going to draw on all the little faces. Things have been very interesting and adventurous here at Camp David for the past few days. We've got Kenya's birthday invitations done, and we're handing those out. We're trying to prepare for her party. We are still trying to take care of our 12 days of Christmas. We've delivered to the first 2 days. The great Christmas tree flood that happened while I was trying to set up our Christmas tree, the leak and the flood that we had in our basement. I guess I wouldn't really call it a flood, but it was a leak and it caused enough problems. I guess it's a bigger problem than what we thought. We had people come out to check everything that was going on. The dishwasher has stopped working, but when they came out to assess any damage that might have caused from that first flood, we found out, and we called them because the dishwasher is no longer working. We found out that this is a much larger problem than what we thought. The dishwasher, come to find out, stopped working because of the electrical wiring that they have underneath the sink. It somehow got wet. It shorted out the dishwasher. I'm very fortunate that me or the kids did not get hurt, I guess. And our garbage disposal is also rusting out, so that's caused a problem. And there's damage to the floor. So this is a much bigger problem than what we thought. And now our floorboards are starting to warp because of the moisture that got under there. So they have to dry out the floor, see if that fixes it. If not, we have to tear up 75% of the kitchen floor and have that redone. We have to get a new dishwasher. They have to completely do all new plumbing underneath the sink, and they have to rewire the electrical stuff under the sink because it was not done properly. And we also have to get a new garbage disposal. So I'm standing in our dining room right now because this morning they showed up with the fans and the dehumidifier to try and dry the floor out. It's going to be a bit noisy around Camp David for the next 4 days. I've been told we have to let these fans run. And on top of that, we don't have a dishwasher, so my kitchen is a bit dysfunctional. I'm trying to get my baking done, people. I love baking around the holidays, and it's not happening. I'm determined to not let this put me in a bad mood. We are laughing our way through this at Camp David, but here's my kitchen, and it's about ready to get loud, and it's crazy in here, so please don't mind the mess. Here's the dehumidifier. They've taken out my dishwasher. Here's the noisy fan. I am trying to stay happy and laugh through this. This is comical because amongst all the chaos of the holidays, why not add a little bit more in here? It would be so boring if we didn't have stuff going on. This is Camp David for a while.
Hi. Hey. Don't show
I am hoping wherever you are that your house is having a peaceful Christmas season and that things are all going well with you. It might be noisy and crazy inside of Camp David, but we have a little bit of peacefulness and serenity outside.